Have you ever noticed there's a kind of silence that only exists when you're home? It's not the silence of boredom or emptiness. It's the one that feels like safety. It's that moment when you hear the faint hum of the refrigerator, the steady tick of a clock, and realize that for once, no one needs you to be anywhere else. People often mistake this feeling for loneliness, but it isn't. It's peace. Maybe it started years ago, back in the classroom, on the bus, or in a crowd, places full of voices and noise. Even when you were surrounded by people, you sometimes felt unseen. So you built a little world inside yourself, a world that was softer, quieter, and safer. That world grew up with you, and one day it took shape. It became your home, a place where you can finally exhale, where the noise fades and you can hear your own thoughts again. Psychologists say that people who love staying home often have a high sensitivity to external stimuli. Their minds process the world deeply. Lights feel brighter, sounds louder, and crowds feel heavier. So, the quiet of home isn't an escape. It's a form of balance. It's your nervous system whispering, "Here, I can rest." Home is more than just a physical space. It's the one place where the mask comes off. The social version of you, the one who smiles on cue, knows what to say and how to fit in. That version melts away the moment the door closes, and what's left is the unfiltered you, the one that doesn't need to perform, the one that simply exists. It's strange, isn't it? How a person can be surrounded all day and still feel invisible, but the moment they're home, alone with a cup of tea by the window, they finally feel seen. By themselves. That's the quiet magic of solitude. It's not isolation. It's intimacy with your own soul. We live in a culture that celebrates noise. We glorify those who are always out, always doing, always showing. We treat silence as laziness and stillness as a weakness. But there's a quiet strength in those who know how to be alone without being lonely, because they've learned that fulfillment doesn't always live in movement. Sometimes it's found in the pause. Homebodies understand this deeply. They aren't hiding from life, they're healing from it. Because when you're home, your body finally drops its armor. There's no need to impress, to defend, or to perform. Your mind begins to soften, your breath slows down, and everything you've been holding in starts to rise to the surface. That isn't laziness. It's recovery disguised as rest. Some people recharge in noise while others recharge in silence. Neither is better or worse. They're just different ways of being human. But because our world praises constant motion, the quieter ones are often misunderstood. They're called antisocial, distant, or withdrawn, when in truth they simply feel life too deeply. Every sound, every emotion, every room full of people leaves an imprint on them, and when it becomes too much, their instinct isn't to run away, it's to protect their peace. And maybe that's why their homes say so much about who they are. For some, it's sunlight, music, and plants stretching toward the window. For others, it's soft blankets, dim lamps, and the faint scent of coffee or candles. Every object, every little ritual, like lighting a candle or making the same morning coffee, tells their nervous system, "You're safe now." Home becomes a reflection of their inner state, warm, calm, and intentional. Psychologists have found that people who spend more time alone often score higher in creativity and emotional intelligence. It's not because they're smarter, but because they're reflective. They process, they notice, they feel. Great art, deep insights, and quiet understanding are all born from silence. They emerge from the moments when no one is watching, and the only audience you have is yourself. But let's be honest, sometimes people fall in love with being home not because they're peaceful, but because they're tired. Tired of being misunderstood. Tired of performing versions of themselves that don't feel true. For them, home is not an escape, it's a return. A place where they can breathe again. Psychologists call this emotional decompression. It's that feeling when you walk through the door, drop your bag, and your whole body exhales. You haven't given up on the world, you're just resting from it. And maybe that's something our generation forgets. Staying home doesn't mean doing nothing. Some of the most meaningful growth happens there. Reading, reflecting, journaling, dreaming. These are quiet revolutions happening behind closed doors. Because home isn't where life stops. It's where it starts again. Slowly, gently, and honestly. There's a strange courage in choosing stillness. It takes strength to say no to the noise, to step away from the endless need to be seen, and to find worth in invisibility. Because in that invisibility, something beautiful happens. You return to yourself. You start living not to impress, but to express. Not to chase the world, but to understand it. And when you finally step back out, you carry with you something rare. Calm energy. You don't add to the noise, you bring peace. So if you're someone who loves staying home, don't apologize for it. You're not missing out. You're tuning in. You're doing the quiet work that most people are too busy to notice, the kind that builds clarity, balance, and depth. Because when the world feels uncertain, it's often the quiet ones who have already found what everyone else is searching for. Not in the crowd, but in the gentle rhythm of ordinary days. The warmth of morning light, the sound of rain against the window, the feeling of simply being enough. Home isn't just a building. It's a reflection of peace earned, not given. A sanctuary built from patience, presence, and authenticity. It's where you meet yourself again and again, until one day you realize you were never really alone. You were just coming home to yourself. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content like this. We'd love to have you as part of our community.